So, David, we've been here a long time. So, I know you started your career with the Department of Army. What made you decide to come to the Fish and Wildlife Service?
It's a good question. I was with Department of Army, my wife and I, for 15 years, and truthfully, it was a very good experience, but we needed to make a change. And I received a phone call from my former boss that worked for Department of Army, who ended up being at Fish and Wildlife Service at that time. Didn't know anything about Fish and Wildlife Service. The only thing I knew is that when I worked at Fort Irwin was the desert tortoise, and I would have to say that Fish and Wildlife wasn't the most well-liked group and organization at that time. But once I got here and I realized how amazing the folks are and the passion that they have for Fish and Wildlife Service. So Aaron, you've been with the Federal Fish and Wildlife Service for 34 years. So tell me, how did you get started?
Wow, I got started when I was at New Mexico State University. I always knew I wanted to work in the conservation field, and for as long as I can remember. And I had an opportunity to compete for an internship there. The Fish and Wildlife Service they had a team of folks there that were recruiting for these cooperative education positions, which, if you completed successfully, led you to a permanent full-time position. And so I took the opportunity to get some experience interviewing and ultimately was selected for the position. And that's how I started with the Fish and Wildlife Service. I knew a little bit about the service, having spent some time growing up here in the area and going over to Bosque del Apache and some of our other refuges here in New Mexico, but didn't really know a whole lot more about the Fish and Wildlife Service until I got into the agency, and that's when I realized that this is who I wanted to work for. I didn't want to do anything else. It's like a small family. Everybody kind of knows each other, and I think that's what makes us strong. So, that's why it was really important for me. I never wanted to do anything else. So, Dave, you've always been really passionate about diversity and inclusion, and as far as anybody I know, why do you feel that's so important?
Well, I think anytime you can have a very good, diverse, and inclusive group, all the ideas that come out of it are so much better. So if you have people that are maybe more experienced, and then there's younger folks, or people that have different backgrounds, military versus non-military, they all bring a different view or a different approach, and makes us a better organization. So Aaron, you've been as a refuge chief for about 5 years now. You've done an amazing job getting people engaged. So what do you think what makes Fish and Wildlife so important as it relates to the natural resource conservation agenda?
Wow, I think for the Fish and Wildlife Service, we're both national and international, and I think where we make the greatest difference is our ability to be advocates and collaborate with partners and bring significant issues forward. It's a little different like our state agencies now, but because we are national and international in scale, that we have the ability to work with real diverse partners, with our state partners, NGOs, private sector. So I think that's where we can have the greatest impact, and is we can take significant issues and move them forward at a national level. So Dave, your program, budget administration, it's a little different than some of the other conservation programs. How do you see that your program helps us accomplish our mission?
Well, we're different than every other program, us in external affairs, in that we are not biologists per se. But what we are is we're there to support the programs. So whether it be in engineering and doing an engineer project, or HR, getting people hired, it's important that we're there to support the programs and make sure that we're doing our job, because if we do our job, it makes it better for all of you.